Everyday words catch the light at just the right angle, and the reader will never experience them in quite the same way again. Her landscape is the corporeal. So come on up and be corporeal.
So yeah, without further ado, I'm just going to get stuck in. Okay, I won't ramble on too much, but what I would love to do would be to read new poems, because that's where the joy is, that's where the love is. But there's a backlog, and you need to put something out in order to move on from it. And so this is what's in the collection. It would only be fair to read this. So I'm going to read this poem. It's called Meet the Mothers. I wrote it while I was doing my master's, and I was shown a Sharon Olds poem. So this is called Meet the Mothers. They are kind as you are sexless when they meet you as a soft, bounding blur. Like angels, they temporarily shade with wing in overflow. When you meet mothers and they know, eyes zeroing in a crowd, instigating immediate, unspoken understanding. Her pupil linked to mine as if a metal line ran through both. When you meet mothers unaware, leaving you with debauchery, like a missed fire-swallowing trick. When you meet mothers saving their boys, when you meet mothers ruining them, when you meet mothers doing one via the other. When you are cautious confidence, united against the enemy, resuscitating the land, poised to break apart and build barricades. Sons grown detached, culture against community. When you become a mother, new with joy, holding a toy to be broken, or a man, a boy. I did a gig in Hermé recently, and my friend Gary, who runs a thing down there, said, yeah, good, but slower and louder. So that's what I'm going for. But it's so hard to slow down and speak louder because my voice is naturally quiet. Anyway, the title of the book, In My Arms, Nathan's like, you idiot, go you. The title In My Arms is a phrase from this poem, Through the Fish Tank, which I wrote based on the moment where Romeo and Juliet meet through the fish tank in Baz Luhrmann's adaptation, and I love that because it's excessive and awful and disgusting like life is. So anyway, that's the sort of thing I'm into. This is called Through the Fish Tank. In the city of sin I flit, weightless as trash, worthless and in love. It started with the drug. My brother in a tasseled two-piece offered me what was on his tongue, like a mother feeding her young, and the rest was fireworks, red lips, ochre skin. I was the night out of my Elvis lapels, amongst gold teeth, Latin beats. She was an angel in white. Later her wings were lost or I cast them off. I followed the fish till they led me to their queen as if she were a mermaid, and now suppose she said, you saw me drowned, dead. We were happiest in water unless we were air, like the morning after consummation when the bed was a cloud. The sky a sheet I kept inflating for you. Your face, the sun on the horizon. We couldn't stay in love any more than we could air or water. We were flesh, and had we been of the corrupted kind, we would have lived long, poisonous lives like our parents, our infections keeping us alive. I smoke in the desert trailer, glad to have known truth besides open Hawaiian shirts, snakeskin steel-cap boots, guns with icons on, not to see you lie cold amongst neon crucifixes. Yes, I lied. Imitated the state in which my brother lies. But our ancestors came from the sea, next to which my brother cursed me, and in my arms died. It's funny that poem mentions guns, because my good friend Nathan, I said to him, before you go on, you put your gun in the air, brap, 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 and he didn't do it. This next poem's called Chest, and the cover that my publisher Bad Betty picked for the book was a woman, and it's kind of like a nude, tasteful profile, and it shows the shadows between her ribs, and there's a line in this that has harmony with that, which is, why the cover makes sense to me. Chest. Her breasts spread like the eyes on butterfly wings when they come to rest. I scale the contours of this pale landscape, like the misty mountains, ecstatic at exploring alone, a child left to play at night, too young to know death or fear. In every marble ridge, there is a pocket to love and fill with a dream. The depressed between ribs is soft as bruised fruit. With my head to this slight cage, I mimic its heave, as if I were lurching on a boat. Here, I play with new fragile strands of emotion, like optical fibres. Here, I hear the earth dance and skip. Thank you. This poem's called In the Chain, and yeah, it was like my Christmas poem, but I have to make everything depressing, so yeah, this is that. And I ripped off a Fleetwood Mac title for it. In the Chain. Home glows like adverts and unfocused gold lights through a sympathetic camera. Things are precious in the hand, taciturn, rattle them at the ear to hear the filament of a faux frost string of bulbs. One in the chain always dies. Only the procedure is known, motion through it blind like the line after the one just sung to discover the silence and an ending. Gold pink cherry medicine, elixir, potion, is filling the sleek simplicity of luxury. Nudging between the very atoms, not stopping at all, he straddles a bubble to the top and pops, raw, a mental motion from abstraction. A girl woman in a red skirt has a Monroe moment. Thank you. This is a poem that I wrote about, kind of eroticism of food. And I was talking to someone about this. I was talking to Nathan about this, and I said, do you just find some food, sexy or whatever? And he was like, I've read your blog. So yeah, this is called This Is Not a Metaphor. My publisher really rejigged this, but I'm here now and I can read what I want. And no, she's awesome, she rocks. Because it was weird. So this is called This Is Not a Metaphor. I want to see his hands, poised with concentration, slightly trembling due to alien consideration and other secret reasons, carefully take the brilliant knife and slice a mathematical piece of cake, like art. He uses the cake trowel to coax it with the barest touch out of its slot, maybe balancing with a fourth finger, not wanting to make a mess. Yet, he is alone. Those little lady hands, on a man, their worn crescent moon nails. I want to see that exquisite mouth wrap unbearably slowly around every bite. A fork is paramount. How unfairly his lips are written into thought. They must be caught in the act, their precise shape never seen alike. This is no no-bake shop-bought cream cheese job. It's seen fire. It has burned more than us. Its crust is the cooled surface of the moon, but browning. The rest is obscene, stuffed down, obliterated, spread over skin, crumbs scattered far, dish clean. Outside, people watch nudes and pay whores and perverse endless more besides. All powerful, my whim is to watch him eat cake. With each mouthful you take, sugar, honey, sweetie, think of me. Oh, what the hell? My sister just turned up. She just literally appeared. Also, I heard someone go, oh yeah! Someone had a good time on that. Yeah. Yeah, we'll talk after. While this is in the middle of this, I do just want to say a massive heartfelt, amazing thank you to Barry and Sam, who've created an incredible community. And community is literally life-saving stuff. It literally keeps you alive. So thank you so much for everything. This poem is called. Oh, I didn't think I had this one in the set, but it's here. By the I know. This poem I wrote based on something that a poet who a lot of you know, Angela Dye, said to me. We've been talking about burying old memories, burying old ideas, and this just came out of our conversation. Angel cakes or whatever she's called. Buried alive. Have you ever buried someone alive? Have you ever lived amongst dead men, walking, laughing, unaware that they're ghosts, or been a ghost yourself? I have disregarded all physical evidence of existence. made trivial vital signs of life, teased claims to pulse and breath like knots, secretly, over time. Have you ever buried someone to remain above ground? Have you ever felt your heart snap like a ripcord after years of stretching? Seeing them is like a delayed hologram. Their smiles and touches are irrelevant, received after the event. Have you ever buried someone alive? Have you ever seen hands scrabbling in the earth, drowning? Have you ever soothed the egg of the skull with a sharp shock of the shovel and, afloat in the necropolis, embraced silence? That was actually probably the most recent thing that's gone into this collection. And that kind of necro surgery imagery is kind of coming through, which is kind of where I'm at now. This one I wrote based on a photograph of an ex-partner and William Blake's Tiger Tiger. It's called Picture Book. Behind her the reeds grow long and lush, pea-greened and angled to the left. They're playing in front of forest-coloured tree clusters, sprinkled together like chives on a chopping board. Such soft shapes do not assault the eye. I keep a folded picture of my lover in a book I'm taking the rest of our time together to finish. Every night I make a little progress, dwell at the tinged crease I've let run along her length, then read on, folding the landscape, disturbed. A place throbs next to her like a cavity. My fingernails are bloody from stealing this. In spite of the crime, she sits, peaceful, an open smile dancing on her lips, spread to show a sparkling bite. Her bleached limbs pour down to rest, streaked with honey-coloured sun. Her eyes are two high-placed semicircles, curve up, noticing something away from the bullseye of the lens. What stalks low amongst the grass? I must not invent a curse, weary from carrying the secret weight in my book. She is still laughing, albeit silently. Okay, this poem's called A Ghost in Berlin. I met a ghost in Berlin, a metalhead with the same physique, the same patches of shockingly dark down secretly on his body, the same long hair, beard, the same teeth, smile and voice, the same blue eyes, set in his head, of course. His hands were slightly different, better, so worse. I took him, a sign, from the universe. His soul fit the specification of the July Irish guitarist who strummed as I sipped Jaeger. A ghost stuffed his hands in my mouth. A ghost strangled me, then slept in his chains as I created constellation on his back with kisses, swatting me like a fly. Life imitates art. We met through the fish tank, and he had a sleeve of armour. But that's not the point. The point is that I'm like my mother, who made me a mirror, as she waned and wasted for men. We are beautiful only for being individual. I want to pass through life unnaturally, undisturbed and not disturbing. Accepting all blame without understanding will still not absolve. Release me from the drama of love and let me be free. Dear reader, what would you have me do? For 1 hour I have laid, laughing and weeping. I must change my life. This poem's called Learning to Draw Darwin, which I wrote for my sister. Weird emotions, weird. Okay. Learning to draw Darwin. In the beginning, evolution was not detectable. There were lines and marks and no responsibility. Then different shapes could be grouped. Soon they were put together with purpose, still unfathomable. The same unclear forms recurring. With delight, the crudest humans emerged, their features falling off their faces, an eye just outside the parameter of the skull, like an accident of the womb. Early life was drawn with terrifying care. Her hand trembled as she kept heads attached to bodies, bodies attached to limbs. Man became different from woman, then went away completely. We distinguished different animals, recognized ourselves less through realistic representation than the symbolic. The figures of girls grew finer. Our own abilities were technically surpassed. She was no longer capturing bodies but clothes, a dull point disguised as politics, a self-referencing outer membrane. The costumes become so fantastic, they obscure the humans they contain. Perhaps she again wants abstraction, freedom. This poem I wrote again during my master's when I was thinking about the idea of conflict resolution, and I was thinking, how do people approach things? And it's really heroic to approach things, bravely and stuff. But for me, I don't know, maybe for women, I don't want to say like sexist stuff, but maybe it's that there's a power in silence and evasion. I don't know, but this was about that. The White Witch. Hellfire is mercy by comparison. Burn in the cold. Turn black with frostbite. I will be the freezing wind you cannot grasp to punish. Sit alone in an igloo. Eat icicles for every meal. All day the rod bobs in the deep, but never tugs with life. You wish an animal, even monster, howled outside. Bully and beat yourself. Have every point lead back to you. Try to thaw it out with the lake's frozen reflection over grand schematics drawn in the ice. I am generous. Take all the space in the physical world for your prison. I will be the intangible landlord you're dying to meet, whispering around every corner. Even dispersion is a skill. Anything perfected is an art. For questions there are words without answer. For pain there is custom without tears. For affinity there are smiles without eyes. People threaten death or pain, loss of money or beauty, all mental and material faculties, but I would say this: enjoy the silence, go deaf from its screams. Okay, this is the last one. It's also the last one that appears in the collection. It's called Wandering Rocks, which is a chapter in Ulysses. So again, stolen, plagiarised. Okay. Wandering Rocks. So far from humanity, the pace of your body slows to that of the mountains. Last traces of civilization claw at the ground that's cracked fresh green and fragrant earth. An immediate open expanse, like a ripcord snapping, is a sight that book can't prepare for. That feeling of knowing every dull thing outside your house without leaving it is violated by the landscape that's more a different planet than country. Part Amazon, echo of oriental branches and brooks, humid, with a silence that's natural. You're slightly dirtier and somehow purer. Wean your body off its contraption use. Learn its self-sufficiency. In these tall forests with their thin, dense trees, intoxicated Israelis still fairies. You and your girlfriends are nymphs in the land of nudity without nakedness, where mist would be seen to circle treetops if anyone was looking, where you almost forget to be. Thank you, that's me done.